What up? Welcome back to another ClimaxCombo video. I'm Checkers.
I'm Licious.
And we are going to be going over some neat Chainsaw Man builds. We're going to do 4 builds in this video. And it's going to be cool. Going to be fun.
We're going to do things a little differently this time. We're going to show you an example build. Just maybe a simple skeleton you guys can use to inspire your own Chainsaw Man builds. None of these are truly polished or refined, just very basic that you guys can use in the meantime if you guys are building Chainsaw Man and kind of refine it to your own.
Yep.
Keep in mind that recording this video, it's very early in Chainsaw Man's life, so if we're missing any very powerful synergies or something else comes up, please excuse us.
We're not going to be going over each and every card. If you want to figure out what the cards do, we will have the translation in the video for you if you want to read it. And to start things off in the video, we're going to be going over some just generally strong cards that are going to be included in a lot of these builds just to cover some strengths of the set. These cards will pretty much round out the builds, and it'll just be better to go over them first.
First off, we got the 00 TD Power. Really strong card, but I think what makes it very good is the fact that it's probably the best way to tech yellow into your builds, which is a really good color. So if you want to add yellow, I think this is the best way to do it for your zeros. And it's a good card too, so you're not hurting your build at all.
Very solid. Good TD card. And for the brainstorm in most of these builds, this Himeno is really strong. Just a great effect later on in the game to start setting yourself up, grabbing any important level 2 or higher cards, and it goes to memory. So it's just overall super strong card.
This card is crazy.
It's nuts.
Grabbing anything, like, oh my god. And it goes to memory, so good. Next up, the 00 Makima is also very cool. It's a Riki on play, which means you're going to be running it no matter what. But also the fact that it has a really cool alarm effect, a very powerful alarm effect that's good at all stages of the game and has good synergy with a couple cards in Chainsaw Man. Makes it all that much better. And it's alarm. Like, how cool is that? How often do we see that anymore, huh?
Yeah. So definitely like the best level 0 to kind of put in all your builds.
Yeah, like just run 4 and it's gonna be really strong. It's also 1500 too. What the heck? Should be like 5k, 500.
Dude. This Kobeni level 0, it only has one effect, 1k power, super low, but this effect is always just super awesome. Hand filter, grab any 0. If you get lucky, you can grab other stuff. It's just a phenomenal card.
It's so powerful, it doesn't even need another effect, and you're gonna be running it. Like, yeah, these effects are too strong. Next up, we got this 1/1 Kobeni. We're mainly here just for the mill 3 on yourself or your opponent. Great for offense, great for defense. Can really put a tinker on your opponent's plans when used properly. So, and it's a solid 2k. So, it's great.
Another really strong backup is the Sheena backup. Just refreshing your deck when you in a pinch is super useful for lowering the amount of damage you're going to be taking, and it's just a great card.
No refresh, you gotta love it. Lastly, level 3 power, really strong early drop level 3, heals, pluses you, big power, easy condition. What's not to love? The only downside is that it's in yellow, which is not really a downside.
Yeah.
So it's really strong.
This is why you'd want to tech that power earlier.
Yeah, that TD power is mainly here to tech just for this. It's that powerful. And the TD power is really powerful too. Powerful powers. That's what we like to hear.
Now on to the builds. We got the first one, which I like to call Aggro Aki.
Ooh.
Pretty cool. Level 3 finisher is Aki with gold bar. This build that we're going to go over is has a level 0 Himeno combo with the stock 1 soul. The whole point is to kind of fill up your hand with the attackers to output as much damage as possible. You have a lot of ways to get your climaxes again to output more soul damage. And overall, it's just a really aggro build, hence the name. So here's what we're talking about when we mention a build. Some general ratios. We won't go over every single card here, just a lot of key cards that kind of make the build run the way it does. First off, about the level 3 Aki gold bar combo. This guy makes it really easy to pull off 3. He grabs anything from the waiting room, so you can just grab more of him. You only need 1 in your hand and 2 more in the waiting room to fill up your board. And he's costless, so you just need the 6 stock to play him initially, and that's it. And then you have 3 Akis, and it's just a pretty good combo. You can do a lot of damage with 3 of them. And for the second combo in the build, the Himeno, it's just a really good way to keep up your hand and keep the pressure on with getting more attackers. +2, it can also grab the event and more climaxes with the brainstorm. It's spammable also, so it's really good.
Keep in mind when you kill the stock soul, you still keep the stock soul. You still keep the soul, so you're not really losing anything. You just can't use multiple of these, but you only need 1 use because you kill it off. So if you have 2 Himenos, you yeah. That's the only downside, but it's not really a downside.
And a key point in the build is this 1/1 event. The event itself is fine. I mean, you pay 1 to kind of hand filter, grab something from your waiting room that you can use right now, but it does go to memory, and you kind of want to just put as many in the memory as you can because the effect stacks. And if you have 3, you can mill it 3 times, so it makes it really easy to mill until you see a climax, and then you're guaranteed to hit at least 1 with the Aki, pretty much. And it's just, you end up having a lot of cards going to memory in this build, the Himeno and this card, so you have a lot of added compression because of that. If you want an early play for these builds, this level 3 Aki is pretty good. Since you're already running the 1/1 event, it can come out early very easily, and you can play multiple, and he has a chance to get his your stock back, so he might only cost 1 to get a level 3 attacker, which is pretty good. But it does require you to use stock. So if you want to save your stock for 3 level 3 Akis, because if you don't play 3 of them, it's not that scary, I would say. But you can still run it.
It's optional, not mandatory. It doesn't really fit into the game plan, but it's still good. If you're having a rough game, I think you would like this 3/2 Aki to be around.
Yeah, the heal could be clutch.
For sure. And it's possible. It's still a good card. Really strong.
All right, and a couple really good level 0s for this build. This Himeno, it doubles as a suicider and another way to grab the event. It essentially turns into pay 1 ditch to salvage something, because you grab the event and then you salvage something with the event. And the Aki is just clean cut, works really well in builds that need to keep around their 0s. And you have a lot of stuff that's weak on defense, so it's just really useful to keep up, or it's really useful to keep attackers around.
That Himeno always grabbing it on play is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
It's like, it doesn't even...
It's not even like mill, check top 3, grab an event, discard. It's just, oh, there it is. So sick.
And since there's no combo at level 1, the build will include a lot of 1/0 attackers. They're all pretty useful in a lot of different situations, so it just depends on what you're going against. The Himeno, this 1/0 Himeno is easily 8k on offense with anti-encore, so it's kind of generally good against a lot of stuff. Good against 1/1s. So, and the 1/0 Aki is good against level 2s. So whatever you're going against, you have something for it. This other 1/0 Himeno is also pretty decent. It's just a way to kind of hand filter. You get to ditch a card and pay 1 to grab 2 things, which is pretty good. And to go along with the aggro theme, this 2/1 Himeno is really good for that. Being able to give all your characters +1 soul is insane. Upping the damage, and also the 4k power is super good. Makes all of your 1/0s that much scarier, so it kind of can carry you through that mid game, which is also another reason why you don't really need the level 3 Aki to come out early. You still have attackers to reverse stuff if you... Yeah.
Great synergy with the 0/0 Makima alarm. We can almost guarantee it, so powerful synergy there for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, borderline for sure.
It's pretty nice. Overall, build's pretty cool. It's sort of a neat aggro build. Yeah, having a bunch of 1-0s that kind of do everything to get you through the game. Level 3 Aki to finish it off. Extra compression from the memory cards. It's a pretty neat build.
I think the Aki is scary enough to really carry this build. The fact that you only need him in your hand at 1 gold bar and 6 stock to win the game is scary enough in my opinion. You really only need 1 easy revenge event in memory to make the deck work for the 2-1 Himeno and the 1-0 green Himeno and the 1-0 Aki. If you choose to run the 3-2 Aki, you only need 2, but that's pretty easy too. And then the level 3 Aki, if you're having a bad day, you technically don't need any easy revenge events in memory for him to work.
Yeah, you still don't.
Yeah, you don't. You just need the 0-0 Himeno out in memory, actually. So the fact that it's so resource efficient, the level 3 finish is very lethal.
Mm-hmm.
Cool card. Next up, for our second build, we have 8 standby revolving around the 3-2 standby Denji and the 0-0 Makima combo. Here's an example build. We think the build really starts to pop off at level 2 when you can start using the 3-2 Denji combo. The rest of the list is fairly standard, but it's got a couple tricks that make it able to hang in the beginning stages of the game and the end stages of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, we got the 3-2 Denji, 10-5 power. Very powerful and very, very flavorful. The combo is just very powerful. As soon as you play the standby, you can just do it ASAP. It's very resource efficient. You just have to kill off the standby and you just have to pay 1 stock, which is just so good. It anti-encores because when you kill them, it goes to the bottom of the deck. And on defense, he's quite decent as well because you get to look at the top. And if it's not a climax, you just put it to the waiting room. So this effect is just very powerful. I mean, also bot decking them, increasing the damage, increasing the chances of your damage sticking. It's just so good.
This is a nuts card at level 2.
Nuts, I like it. Speaking of his nut busting brother, we have the 3-2 Aki here as well, who's also very good. I mean, he's 10-5, he's 1500 global as well, which is just always good. He works in the back row as well, making him that much juicier. And he also deals damage from the bottom of your opponent's deck. And also, his last effect, pay 1, discard to burn 1. Always, always nice. For our next combo, we got this Makima, who's fairly unique. The standby combo, you can only grab this very specific 0-0 Denji that we'll go over in a second. But that alone makes it decent enough to play, we think, just because you can still plus when you do so. And when you grab multiple of them, you can just plus all that much more. The Brainstorm is also quite powerful and quite unique. Instead of paying 1 stock, you actually kill off one of your characters to get it off. And after that, it's a fairly standard Brainstorm. But in this build, we think it's a little better than like a normal salvage or search because you get to mill through your deck more and grab key cards that you need, such as possibly standby, because you kind of want to be doing that all the time.
Boom, boom.
Next up, we have these 2 Denjis. The first Denji, the 0-0 1500 one, is the target for the Makima combo. By himself, he's a very standard card. You just play him and you can pretty much get a free hand fix. Using his 2 effects in tandem, you can kind of guarantee it. But you're gonna most likely be killing him off with the 0-0 Makima Brainstorm when you play him. And then you just kind of get to repeat the process. You kill him off. You search him with the Makima. Just like almost like infinite, like it's like its own value system,
Yeah.
You play the Denji, you kill it off, Brainstorm, you stand by, get something, use the Makima combo, get the 0-0 Denji. So by himself, he's lackluster, but with this whole combo, he's actually quite strong.
Yeah. Makes it really easy to... You're just playing vanilla standby, but the system to get out your high-value cards is really good.
Mm-hmm. The other Denji is also decent as well. He's also a good target to kill off with the 0-0 Makima. He's okay at 0 because he can be a 3/5, but he's just mainly here for the hand fix, discarding a card to draw a card.
And yellow.
And yellow, yes, very important. Next up, we have this 1/0 Makima. It's pretty interesting. It's a costless 1/0 6k attacker. But she's mainly here for that experience effect. If you have a yellow card in your level up zone, discard, Denji's, Chainsaw Man's, and Makima's to draw 3 cards. Unfortunately, you can't discard Aki's for her effect, but being able to discard Denji's and Chainsaw Man's, I think, is what makes this card really good. You might have too many Denji's in your hand by using the 0/0 standby Makima combo, so you can start ditching them with the 1/0 Makima, trying to get a new grip of cards to answer your opponent's board.
And your 1/1s and your 2/2s are Denji and Chainsaw Man, so you can always just ditch those to get them in the waiting room.
So overall, like we said, the build is fairly standard. But at level 2, I mean, the Denji, Makima, and the Denji, Aki, Makima might be strong enough to really take over the game. You got your standard 1/1 and your 2/2 standby targets in the early game to kind of go off. And you have all this extra stock because the level 3 Denji Aki combo is so resource efficient. Then you can probably save them to use on the Lollipop events and the Sheena events. You got good ways to fix your hands with the 1/0 Makima as well, and the 0/0 Denjis, both 0/0 Denjis.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, really, it's actually it's like simple, but it's still a pretty unique take on standby, I think. Yeah, it's like simple but different in a cool way.
Yeah.
So I like this build a lot. It's also probably really cheap. The most expensive card is a 3/2 power.
There's like barely any.
That's it. That's
high rarity cards.
There's no other double R's, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of commons, uncommons, and rares. So if you want a budget Chainsaw Man deck, this is it right here. And I think it's really cool.
It's tight. For the next one, we have 8 choice, which is really 12 choice. And I'll go over why. But this build revolves around level 3 Chainsaw Man and level 1 power. This build is kind of standard. It's like standard level 1 combo and a level 3 finish, but there's a lot of added juice that kind of makes it get more value than a lot of those standard cards or builds, and it can actually be pretty good payoff. Here is the list. Like I said, it's pretty standard. Nothing out of the ordinary here, just a lot of good cards. A lot of the cards we mentioned at the beginning of the video because you just want to fill it up with a lot of strong cards. For the level 3 combo, Chainsaw Man, he is pretty good. He's oversized and he can burn both on your turn when you attack and during your opponent's turn, so they can't just ram stuff into him. They have to be wary of how much stock in hand you still have to deal more damage. So that can be pretty scary.
He alone just offers so much damage with one combo. The 1, the 3, and you kill something 2. That's 6 damage in 3 different instances on one card.
Yeah.
And he can do it on your opponent's turn.
Yeah. If you couldn't manage to play 3 on your turn, you can just hold your stock a bit, see if they ram. They just can't ram. I mean, preventing them from attacking you is kind of like, the anti-damage backup.
Very fitting of Denji. He'll take the damage, but he'll mess you up back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool.
The other choice combo is also really strong. Just a lot of power on this power because of the can't side attack downside, but overall, I mean, this power can really take on anything at level 1. 6/5 base is enough to get over any 1/0s pretty much. And then against level 2s, it's 13,500. Pretty insane. I think there are ways to get a little extra juice to even overcome 1/1s to get like 8k power. So overall, I mean, the power is going to be reversing your opponent's board, and it pluses. So it's just super strong. And another key duo in the deck is the 1/1 Aki and the level 0 Denji. The Aki makes the Denji's choice trigger with any choice combo, so it's not just one specific one. whichever choice is being played, you have 12 choice triggers in your deck, which is great. You can generate more stock. And level multiplier is nice. He can stick around all game to be your back row. You don't really have to do it, include anything else in your build for your support. And the giving your character a double trigger is synergizes even more with everything else. Being able to get through your deck more, get more choice triggers, pay out any climaxes you might trigger. It's just really useful. And is where all the value kind of comes from for this build.
0/0 Denji is not even bad, so you're not even hurting your deck to run this powerful 1/1.
But yeah, those are the key cards. like we said, it's really standard. But those cards are really powerful, so I think it can actually do well in this environment or ever.
Yeah, I mean, it does it does the standard Weiß Schwarz stuff, but at a little higher level. The cards are just a little better than what the other ones do in other sets. The power's so good against any build, standby and regular.
Yeah.
And the 3/2 Chainsaw Man provides so much lethal damage. You got a good early drop with power. You got the added consistency of 0/0 Himeno.
The added compression of high amount of stock.
The extra value of just everything. It just does so well. It just all comes together in a very nice, good package. Simple but powerful. For our last build, we're gonna go over 8-door Makima. It's gonna revolve around the 3/2 Makima and the 1/0 Makima. I think this build is a very cool and unique take on 8-door, and it's also very good and I think very fun. And here is an example build, but the big card in this build is gonna be the 3/2 Makima. This card is honestly pretty insane. She could come out at level 2. For very easy conditions, you're gonna be playing the 0/0 double R Makima regardless. So it's very simple for her to come out. I think the second effect is what makes her so powerful. Because when you play her, if you have her specific door in your waiting room, you can put it to stock or your hand. So what you can do is when you're level 2, you play the Makima. If you have the door in there in your waiting room, you can put it to your stock. You play the second Makima. Since you pay cost first, you now have a target in your waiting room again to choose, putting it back in your stock, and you can play the third Makima, once again paying cost first. So now you have a target to use again. So as long as you have one door in your waiting room, or even in your stock when you do it, if you know you have one in the top 2 of your stock, you can play 3 Makimas for just 4 stock, which is just completely insane. And if that wasn't enough, her climax combo is just very powerful, especially at level 2. The fact that she can pop your opponent's board, front or back row, and she gets plus 2k is just honestly so good. How can your opponent keep up with 3 Makimas, killing 3 of your opponents, killing 3 of your characters guaranteed, being 13k just for 4 stock?
Dude.
And if your opponent's playing a set that is reliant on their back row and you pop it, what are they gonna do?
Card is fucking good.
What are they gonna do? Play hexproof level 3s at level 2? There's not that many cards. Keep in mind, yes, her last effect does need to, reveal a character or the lollipop event to pop off. But keep in mind, the 0/0 Makima brain or alarm is gonna help you get it off more. So it's just very, very, very good. And the last Makima you play, you can grab that gate to your hand instead of putting it back in your stock. So you pretty much guarantee it. So this alone is just so powerful. What are they gonna do? And the other gate combo is the 1/0 Makima. She's also very cool. She's 6k base, which is very strong. Her second effect is pretty cool. It's a little different than the standard plussing combo. What she does is she gets stock. And you can choose anything in your deck and put it to stock. So whatever you feel like is not relevant in the matchup, or you just don't feel like you need anymore, you can put it to the bottom of your stock, making it so, yeah, you just thin out your deck and get more stock for more resources you can use later in the game. And the fact you can pay 1 for 2 trigger checks, I mean, always good, right? Clean stock, more damage, trigger more gates. Who needs to plus with climax combos when you can just plus by triggering gates and then paying them out immediately?
Ooh.
So, really cool card. Next up, we got these pair of cards that are very also integral to the deck, we think. First of all, it's this 1/1 Makima, who's just very unique as well. She can pump something, 1500 power to the end of your opponent's turn, in conjunction with the 1/0 Makima, can present a very strong board at level 1. Also, the fact that you can salvage the 2/2 Lollipop event with door triggers, so long as you have her on the field, makes it all that much more consistent. And lastly, you can choose to deal less damage and less power with your climaxes to get an additional hand size. Might not always be the best, but I'm sure in certain situations it will be very good. The 2/2 Lollipop event is very powerful, we think, as well. This is pretty much going to be your stock dump, we think, because it costs 2, doesn't do anything, but having it in memory just presents a very powerful threat to your opponent. The fact you could just put it face down to give something 3 soul, we think is very strong. For multiple reasons. The fact that, of course, it's 3 soul, but the fact that you're not playing it means it gets around anti-event, anti-backup cards.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can actually stack multiple of these on one character if you really wanted to is there. You have the option. And of course, lastly, you don't actually need a character to defend to actually use this. If they're trying to attack you directly, you can actually just use the Lollipop event and prevent that. So not really much ways for your opponents to play around this, except once again by hexproof characters, which, like we said, not every build has.
Not very common.
Yes, not very common. So it's going to be really hard for your opponent to kill you back with lollipops in memory.
Only 2 stock.
Only 2 stock
For
as
being
well.
A little slow.
Good
Going
point.
to memory. I mean, honestly, this event's nuts.
Like a lot of anti-damage stuff is like, what, pay 3,
Yeah.
right? Pay 3 full board, or
Mhm.
like pay 4, discard a character, rest something, or I don't know, an event that you have to pay 4 for. So
They're usually pretty heavy.
yeah, but this one's just pay 2, so it's good. It's really strong. And another key synergy we want to mention is the 3/2 Chainsaw Man. Makima, level 3 combo, the lollipops, they don't push for more damage, but this Chainsaw Man can help you with that. He heals, which is always appreciated since we don't really have. Makima doesn't heal. But the fact that when he direct attacks, you can discard 3 cards to try to guarantee you more damage is what makes it good. Of course, he has a direct attack, but in conjunction with the level 3 Makima combo, you can just blow up something in the front row, and now Chainsaw Man has an easy condition, or is pretty much guaranteed to get his effect off. You're running 8 gate, so having 3 cards in hand will most likely be the case. So it just works very well in this build with Makima in conjunction. Yeah, it's just very cool, very powerful. But yeah, I mean, this build is just very cool, and such a unique playstyle. I mean, lots of board control, strong on defense.
Yeah.
Just very good.
Squeeze out your opponent.
Squeeze out your opponents, exactly. And seems pretty consistent. You could guarantee a lot of stock with the 1/0 Makima combo. You can guarantee the power level 3s or the Makima level 3s with the 0/0 Himino. You know, like you can, of course, grab the 0/0 Makima with the 0/0 Kobeni on play effect. Like the deck just seems to flow so well together. It should be getting off his game plan most of the time. You can grab the lollipop events with gate triggers. Like it just seems so consistent and seems very overwhelming for your opponent. We think you can experiment with this shell a bit more. I mean, we've seen Makima being paired up with other level 3 combos like 3/2 yellow Chainsaw Man, 3/2 green Aki. Makima is just such an insane card at level 2. She can really be used with other finishers if you don't want to use the level 3 this specific level 3 Chainsaw Man in conjunction with her. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very flexible, we think. It's just a testament to how powerful level 3 Makima really is.
For sure.
And that is all the builds we have for today.
Mm-hmm.
We do think a lot of these builds can be fine-tuned. Like the Aki builds, there's different routes you can take, different climax lineups you can round up. Just like we said with the Makima build, there's different finishers you can use in conjunction with her. Maybe the other two builds are a little more, I don't know. I feel like general. I think the standby build can be used with another combo lineup as well, but I just don't see it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, Chainsaw Man,
pretty cool,
pretty flavorful, pretty powerful. The set is just so sick.
Yeah, it has a deck for everything, honestly.
It does, and it does it pretty damn well.
Hope you guys enjoyed the builds video. Hope you guys enjoyed hearing what we had to say. Yeah. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what builds you're most excited for. All that stuff. Cool.
We'll catch you guys in the next one.